Bingham Canyon Mine, more commonly known as Kennecott Copper Mine among locals, is an open-pit mining operation extracting a large porphyry copper deposit southwest of Salt Lake City, Utah, in the Oquirrh Mountains. The mine is the largest human-made excavation and deepest open-pit mine in the world, which is considered to have produced more copper than any other mine in history. The mine is owned by Rio Tinto Group, a British-Australian multinational corporation. The copper operations at Bingham Canyon Mine are managed through Kennecott Utah Copper Corporation, which operates the mine, a concentrator plant, a smelter, and a refinery. The mine has been in production since 1906 and has resulted in the creation of a pit 3/4 mile across and 2 1/2 miles wide and 1,900 acres. Trucks looked like miniature Tonka trucks from the distance. They were constantly going up and down the roads and unloading at the top of the tower, where the pilings would get sorted. We spent the afternoon at Antelope Island in the Great Salt Lake and had a bison burger at the restaurant on the island. Antelope Island holds populations of pronghorn, bighorn sheep, American bison, porcupine, badger, coyote, bobcat, mule deer, and millions of waterfowl. The bison were introduced to the island in 1893, and the Antelope Island bison herd has proven to be a valuable genetic pool for bison breeding and conservation purposes. The bison do well because much of the island is covered by dry native grassland. John Dooley Sr. purchased the island for $1 million and established the Island Improvement Company. Dooley is responsible for the introduction of the bison and the foundation of the Antelope Island bison herd. He brought 12 bison to the island, 4 bulls, 4 cows, and 4 calves were transported by boat on February 15, 1893. At the time, there were fewer than 1,000 head of bison in all of North America. John Dooley Jr. assumed responsibility for the day-to-day operation of the ranch in about 1902. The cattle ranch worked as one of the largest cattle operations in Utah until 1984, when the ranch was sold to the state. Antelope Island is 28,022 acres and is 15 miles long and 4 1/2 miles wide at its widest point. Here, a family was trying to get their selfie with the bison in the background, but still being protected by the tree. We're approaching the Fielding Gar Ranch, and this is where the bison congregated for the day. Gar was sent to the island by LDS Church to establish a ranch for the church tithing herds. The Fielding Gar Ranch was owned and operated by the church until the 1870s for the purpose of providing funds for the Perpetual Emigration Fund. This fund financed the immigration of Norman converts from Europe to Utah. The ranch house, built in 1848, still stands and is the oldest Mormon-built home that is still on its original foundation in Utah. Tracy Aviary at Liberty Park opened to the public on July 2, 1938. The then 4-acre facility was not only home to several hundred birds, but other animals, including seals, monkeys, and kangaroos. Before opening to the public, the birds at Tracy Aviary had been part of the personal collection of a banker by the name of Russell Lord Tracy. He collected and displayed the birds in the yard of his home in Salt Lake City. As his collection became more popular, he realized he needed a more public location for his birds to be viewed. He worked with the city to designate a portion of Liberty Park, which had previously been home to the zoo, to serve as an aviary. Tracy donated his collection to the city for the enjoyment, entertainment, and education of Salt Lake City's children, and stayed involved in the aviary until he died in 1945.